What's going on, guys? Happy Monday and welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update and daily news report for Monday, April 26th. A lot of people have been asking me what is coming up this week. If you didn't get a chance to see my two videos that I did yesterday, I will link to both of those down in the description box below. Go and check them out because that's going to bring up a lot of what we're going to see this week. But I also want to dive into some of the new updates that we got just this morning. So let me break down what we are hearing that is going to happen over this coming week. What we will get answers on, okay, because answers are coming. That is what we're going to get. We're going to get answers. Now, here's what we're going to get answers on. President Biden, he has a primetime release or a primetime address that he is going to do on Wednesday. This is going to be Wednesday evening. This is going to actually give us a lot of details, hopefully. And in some of President Biden's speeches, he doesn't give a lot of details, but my guess is this speech is going to be a little bit different. I also expect the plans are going to come out sometime Wednesday morning as to what is going to be in President Biden's speech and what he's going to address regarding the next infrastructure bill or the American Family Plan. We know the speech is going to be primarily addressing infrastructure or the next bill. But what else is going to be included into this infrastructure bill? Some say that we want to see things like stimulus. We want to see things like, stuff for Medicare, tax cuts instead of tax hikes. But again, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens on Wednesday. What we are hearing, though, from multiple Senate Democrats is they do not support the first infrastructure bill. President Biden's $2.25 trillion infrastructure package. They don't support it. So the fight regarding infrastructure is currently on. Now, over 100 lawmakers at this point do support an additional stimulus check. I mentioned this yesterday that a fourth and fifth stimulus check could reduce poverty in the United States by roughly 28 million people. That is quite a bit. This group of 70 lawmakers, right now, a little bit more than that, do support $2,000 per month stimulus checks. The majority of these people are over in the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has a very slim margin for Democrats. If the majority of these 70 people decide, you know what, we're not going to vote on infrastructure until you stick in $2,000 per month for a stimulus check, chances are it's going to cause issues. Chances are we're going to see more negotiations. I personally, after reading a lot of different articles, watching many interviews, and watching many videos, I don't believe a $2,000 per month stimulus check will happen. Do I think it's needed? Yes, I think it's needed. I think the American people have proven they can use the money to put into other things, to pay their bills, to pay their rent, to just put food on the table. $2,000 per month would decrease the poverty rate by a lot. Okay, I don't even know the amount. It's huge, but I don't even know the amount. What the experts are saying at this time is if we were to give $2,000 per month to the lowest income individuals, what would happen is those individuals would not need nutrition assistance. They wouldn't need rental assistance, which the rental assistance programs at this point through many states is just a disaster. It's chaos. Many people are not even getting the money. It's just sitting there in accounts. I don't even know the number, but I think it was like less than a third of the money, maybe even less than that, has been sent out for rental assistance. So experts are saying we wouldn't have to worry about providing rental assistance to some of these individuals that have been not been able to pay their rent for the past 8 to 10 months. We could actually just provide additional stimulus checks, and that would cover part of the rental assistance. If you get what they're saying there. So there's a lot of talks here. There's also talks on there's people that don't get unemployment benefits. There's people that don't get very much for Social Security. These $2,000 per month for every single lower income individual, this would help out a lot. So this is why so many people are starting to back this. But at the same time, until we hear whether or not the Biden administration supports this, as of right now, we're kind of in limbo. We don't know if a fourth stimulus check is going to happen. But the weird thing is, some experts are saying and talking about a fourth and possibly fifth one. I'm not even talking about a fifth check because as of right now, the fourth check is still, in my opinion, like a 50-50 chance we see it. So we'll see what happens there. Again, this coming Wednesday is the important day, April 28th. That is the important day. This is the day we should have more answers as to what we will see moving forward. Now, Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss those updates as well. We also know that tomorrow, Tuesday, April 27th, this is another big day, because this is the day that President Biden is supposed to announce what the new CDC mask mandates are. Some aides are stating that President Biden is considering only allowing those that have been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, to walk around and just move about outside without a mask. Some say that this isn't fair, but until we hear from President Biden himself, this is what we know at this point. Again, the CDC is changing their kind of requirements. They're changing their statements based off the new information that they're getting. So as President Biden receives this new information, chances are we're going to see some different details coming out. But again, that is sometime tomorrow. So again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so I can keep you updated on all the latest information. But here's some of the biggest news that's been coming out lately. Here's what we know. Soon, actually I think it's May 10th, I believe, the states and local governments will be receiving their $350 billion that was passed in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. According to Reuters, this $350 billion has not been sent out to any states. The Treasury is going to send this out by May 10th. That is the date they have set that the money should be out. States are right now using this time to plan how they're going to spend their share of the money. Now, I'm not going to get into details as to what state's going to receive this much and that much, but every state's going to receive billions of dollars. Okay? Here's what some reports are indicating. Some reports indicate that many states may plan on using their funds to pay off debt. But this isn't something that is not allowed. In the previous package, the CARES Act, the $150 billion that was passed then, this was limited to only pandemic-related expenses, nothing else. So the money at this point, okay, this can be used for almost anything except it cannot be used for pensions or to subsidize state tax cuts. That is something that is currently in a few different lawsuits as of right now, but we'll get to that in a different video. But as to how states and local governments can spend this money, there's very little detail, there's very little clarity as to how this money is supposed to be spent. This new bill will allow states to replace lost revenue from this pandemic. They can invest in water, sewer, and broadband, which some experts are saying it would be silly or foolish for states and local governments to invest in water, sewer, and broadband when those are things that are going to be addressed in the infrastructure package. So it would make no sense to invest in those things. So as of right now, what they're saying is states are going to replace lost revenue, or here's a big one, this is the big one, is some states and local governments are going and already talking about using this money to provide hazard pay, or what some are calling premium pay, to essential workers. Yes, the talks on hazard pay are starting to come back. Now, one of the things I want to address is you have to be considered an essential worker. And this isn't an essential worker based on what, hey, my boss said I'm essential. Okay, I get it. Everybody is pretty much an essential worker. Okay, but here's the way it is currently broken down. According to reports as of right now, occupations like a firefighter, police officer, EMT, and teachers, those would be considered essential workers. Okay, people like that work at a grocery store, even though, in my opinion, are essential. Because those are the people that, for me and my family, I needed to go to the grocery store to buy groceries to feed my family, to feed myself. Right? I needed that. So in my opinion, grocery store employees are essential. But in some cases, and in this report, it's not indicating that grocery store workers would be included at this time. So just understand, it's going to come down to the state and the actual local governments to decide who is essential and who is not. But as of right now, it's up to the states to decide how they want to spend their money. And as of right now, the states are really considering different things, and every state has their own authority to do whatever they want. But as of right now, everyone's kind of wondering what is going to happen for this next infrastructure bill. Are we going to see infrastructure? Is it going to come soon? If it doesn't, should we take this money that we're getting, this $350 billion that will be allocated to all the different states? should we take a portion of that and fix some of our roads? Should we, try to fix our broadband issue because some kids are sitting at the Taco Bell parking lot trying to get internet for their online classes? Should we do that? Some states are saying yes. Other states say, well, let's just wait because as of right now, we need to figure out what we can actually spend the money on. Now, how the states spend their money, honestly, has nothing to do with the new infrastructure bill that is going to come out this week. These two things are separate. Okay, they're separate. The states can do whatever they want. That was already passed. The infrastructure bill, that's something that's going to happen in the future. We will see what happens as we get a little bit closer. Now, in regards to the infrastructure bill is having a lot of issues as of right now. Senate Republican Lindsey Graham stated on Friday that Republicans could agree on probably $800 to $900 billion in spending. But Senate Democrat Joe Manchin is saying that Democrats must work across the aisle with Republicans and reach some type of bipartisan agreement. That Joe Manchin, when he was asked on Sunday, so yesterday, whether or not he would support another budget reconciliation, he flat out said no. That he does not support an additional budget reconciliation because right now there's too many things that are not tied to infrastructure that are trying to be pushed through the infrastructure bill. So he would not support a budget reconciliation. So that right there is the first sign that President Biden is going to have a big issue because he has to have all 50 Senate Democrats on board. If he doesn't and only one defects, like Joe Manchin is, then the bill is dead. There will be absolutely no infrastructure. So, at this time, here's what we know. Right now, Senate Democrat Joe Manchin is working side by side with 10 Republicans and 10 Democrats from the Problem Solvers Caucus to find common ground. This is what the purpose of the Problem Solvers Caucus is to find common ground, to work across the aisle with their friends, their colleagues, and figure out a way to come to some type of bipartisan agreement. That is what we lacked in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. That is something Joe Manchin has stated he wants to see in this bill as well. Now, lawmakers say that things are looking very encouraging at this time, but they can't keep adding new legislation because it throws off their numbers entirely, and it changes the course of the entire bill. But at the same time, House Democrats and some senators, like Bernie Sanders, are calling on President Biden to add Medicare-related provisions into the infrastructure bill. I just said how right now lawmakers are saying that things are looking encouraging, but they can't keep adding new legislation because it throws off the numbers entirely. But then right after that, lawmakers come out and they propose a new bill or call on President Biden to include Medicare-related provisions into the next infrastructure bill. So President Biden is still working through the details. We don't know all the details as of right now. As of this morning, it was stated that he is not 100% sure what will be included into the next infrastructure bill. He's still going through different provisions. Right now, the next bill, the American Family Plan, this is supposed to be considered a long-term economic plan. This is going to help us with our economic recovery. This is something that's long-term in spite of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that was more short-term, immediate relief. So this one is, let's build for the future. But more and more Democrats, and I addressed this last week, more and more Democrats are referring to this plan, the American Family Plan, as the anti-poverty plan. The goal of this is to reduce poverty here in the United States. Democrats say that reducing the cost of prescription medication and providing better health care will do just that. This will allow low-income earners the ability to retain and hold on to most of their income. Right now, many argue that they don't have any disposable income after they pay their bills at the end of the month. And this is disproportionately affecting individuals like elderly individuals and people on Social Security. This also disproportionately affects Blacks and Latinos. That is what we are hearing at this time. Now, in other news, over the weekend there was a bunch of reports out. There's a bunch of breaking news headlines regarding what President Biden is planning on doing, where some were saying that he is going to limit meat consumption. Well, I want to break that down because this is actually pretty big. Over the weekend, these reports came out that President Biden would be banning meat in the United States in this new infrastructure plan. Here's what we know. This is actually not true. Okay, this came out, I think, on Fox and some other mainstream media outlet. This actually isn't true. They took one person's saying or their quote, and they kind of blew it out of proportion. Here's what we know. There is nothing in the current plan that limits meat consumption. Nothing. Okay, the news broke when former White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow, he was the economic advisor to former President Donald Trump, he came out on Friday. And he said, and I quote, "To meet the Biden Green New Deal targets, America has to, get this, America has to stop eating meat. No burger on July 4th, no steaks on the barbecue." That is exactly what he said. And mainstream media just blew this out of proportion and thought like, okay, so President Biden is going to ban meat consumption. No, that's not the case. But this is what he is saying is true, that in some cases, some experts are saying in order to meet President Biden's the Green New Deal targets, that we would have to pretty much stop eating meat. Okay, now that's one way to do it, I guess, but is it the right way? Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. Okay, so that is what we know right now. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on. Some stuff that is being misconstrued as, this is okay, this is what we're hearing, this is what's going to happen, when it's actually false information, and other things that, lawmakers are talking about, like an additional stimulus check. That's not false information, but is it likely to happen? As of right now, in my opinion, it's about a 50-50 chance. We will see the chances of a fourth stimulus check increase only if the economy goes down. We see unemployment go up. We see more and more issues. We see the case counts go up. If we see this, then yes, a fourth stimulus check and the chances of that passing will actually go up as well. So, in the grand scheme of things, honestly, we don't want to see a fourth stimulus check because that means things are actually starting to worsen. If things get better, then the stimulus checks or the chances of a stimulus check actually go down. So that would actually be better in the long term. But as in the short term, the thing that we're looking for is just immediate relief. And this is where, as of right now, the IRS is being pushed. The IRS is really being pushed by all lawmakers. You need to get the child tax credit portal open so that people can go in and either say yes, they want to get the monthly payments, or no, I don't want to get the monthly payments, or this is how many children I have. So that is what we know right now. But as I know more, as always, I promise I'll come back and keep you updated on all the latest news and information. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.